All right, have and have not fans. Once again, this is a highly requested fan theory. And I mean that at least 15 people told me about this via Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube comments. And it is a very good theory, I will admit. What if Wyatt shoots Mitch? Now, it looks like based off the preview for next week's episode, we only saw Mitch for like a split second. It looks like he's sitting in his car on the phone talking with someone. And before I go any further, special shout out to Brett Davis, Mitch, and Michael, and I hope I pronounced this right, Galente. Be sure to follow them on social media. Pictures on the screen right there. You have Brett, Mitch, and Michael Sandy Malone. And let's see here. Michael is also known as Brian on Good Trouble on Freeform, which I believe is the new name for ABC. I still call it ABC Family, and when I heard they changed it to Freeform, I had no idea what to expect. But also Brett, aka Mitch, is engaged to Priscilla, aka Erica, in real life, if you didn't know. And with the shout outs out of the way, let's move into the theory. And well, to be honest, the theory is just asking the question, Jeremy, what do you think will happen if Wyatt shoots Mitch? Let me put it this way. Remember that Mama Rose wanted to cause a major bloodbath in Savannah, Georgia, just to send a message to people as a reminder that the Malones are not to be messed with? When Mitch was shot at, he wasn't shot. You know, when Warlock and his crew showed up at the motel trying to kill Candace, but then actually killed Quincy Jr. You remember, Mitch was shot at, not shot, and she wanted to cause a bloodbath. Can you imagine if Mitch was actually shot? I doubt he will be killed due to the fact that I do believe we saw Mitch and Sandy and Vinny and Sal Malone filming for season 7 last year. I cannot begin to, let me just put it this way. If Mitch actually gets shot at the Crier house, it's not going to be just limited to the Criers. Like, you know, Wyatt, there'll probably be like a cleansing of that house from, it's almost like Beauty and the Beast, you know, when that fairy or whatever cast a spell on not just the prince, but also everyone in the castle. The same thing would apply to the Crier house, well, Catherine's house. Wyatt, Catherine, Jim, the servants, everyone, the maids, whatever, everybody would be dead. But I think that she'll probably cause a major bloodbath, which is a bad time due to the fact that you had the president-elect staying in Savannah, Georgia. And let us not forget that, what was it, sometime last year, Landon was asked by Charles in order to move to Savannah temporarily. That way, when he makes the transition to the White House with Candace, it won't seem that off. So Charles planned to have, you know, him and his kids move down to Savannah and then transition to DC. So I doubt that will be a good time for all. That's why I did a video a while back about will Charles get assassinated. But in any case, if Mitch was shot, I don't think Tyler Perry could get away with not showing Mama Rose on screen. Because if you really want the viewers to feel the weight and have the other characters fear the wrath of Mama Rose and make it believable, we need to see Mama Rose's reaction to getting the news that her grandson was shot. And once again, I don't think he will be killed, but I think it will be very interesting because remember, Mitch was able to buy some time by, I believe that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking at the notes here. Vinny said Wyatt got about $5,000 worth of drugs, but since he, you know, attacked him and whatnot, in order to get Vinny, or I'm speaking in the third person for Vinny, in order to get him off of his back, excuse me, and not kill him, he would need to get at least $50,000. So basically a 10 times multiplier. Now, that actually isn't that bad, all things considering, when, you know, Wyatt left him for dead. He almost killed him alone. But luckily, because Mitch is aware of the Crier Malone partnership, if you will, he's able to, you know, okay, you know what, just back off the kid. I'll talk with the Criers to get the cash and we're good. But we don't know who he's talking with on the phone. I don't know if he's talking to Benny just to kind of follow up on stuff. I don't know if he's talking, if he's getting a phone call from Vinny or maybe even Sandy, or if he's trying to call the Criers directly. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get in contact with Jim. It's like, hey, can I stop by? Hey, do you know me? Like, wait, no, who are you? And then he tells him, hey, I'm Mama Rose's grandson. And then he asks if he can come over to talk about, you know, the Wyatt situation. So That might be what goes down, which will make it even more heartbreaking. Can you imagine? Jim opens the front door later that night, talks with Mitch one-on-one in order to square things out. And as a result, Wyatt comes down and shoots and then actually hits Mitch. And then, you know, Jim is pissed off for good reason, because I was in negotiations to save your miserable life, and now you've just brought hell on everyone in this house, if not the entire city, if not the entire state. So I think Mitch being shot would cause a war, no pun intended, Warlock, is an understatement. I don't think at that point there's anything Jim, or, you know, how we had all four characters, Jim, Veronica, David, and Catherine in the living room. I don't think there's anything even the four of them combined could do against the wrath, and I mean the wrath of the Malone family, because one of their own was shot. And that's what makes it even worse, because it was like a ceasefire, the getting the terms of a peaceful agreement, like, hey, your son attacked my uncle, but if you give us 50 grand, then he'll back off, you know, that's it, we're good to go. I mean, that wouldn't necessarily make things better, because you know, Mama Rose and Jim are already on the rocks, but it would at least get the Malones off of Jim's sons back, which begs the question. I wonder what Mama Rose said, or how did she react to finding out that Jim Cryer's son left one of her own on the floor for dead. That actually would be interesting, but then again, we haven't seen Mama Rose in a while, and it's just one of those things where Tyler Perry should definitely show us these characters on screen. Show, don't tell. Don't just tell us that so-and-so talked to Mama Rose, or Mama Rose isn't talking to someone right now. Let us see the characters and the interactions and their body language and things like that to add more depth to the character. Really why I'm asking for a Malone spinoff series or something, because that family is very interesting. I want to know how this family came about, and better yet, if there is a new drama series coming out, which we do know, why not just see the Malones pop up in there? You know, I mean, maybe you don't have to do the whole cinematic universe thing in TV where all the shows are connected, but at the same time, I feel like the Malone family is such a powerful force that they shouldn't be restricted to just one show. It's almost like, you know, a Batman Court of Owls, which is one of the best Batman stories, or one of the best elements to come out of the DC Comics New 52. I believe Snyder, I know, was it Jack Snyder? Not John Snyder. Crap, I forgot his name. I think Snyder is the last name. I'm actually looking over at the shelf. Well, no, it's across the room, so I don't have time to just jump up and get it. But basically, the Court of Owls is like a secret society in Gotham City that Batman didn't even know about, and he prides himself on knowing the city inside and out. But the Court of Owls runs things from behind the scenes, you know, politicians, and it is made up of like the elite of Gotham. And they even pull the strings on some of the richest people in town and politicians. So they are controlling things from behind the scenes. And they have these powerful enforcers called Talons, which really reminds me of the Malones, which, man, Tyler Perry has so much potential with that. And I'm hoping if any of the Malone family members from the show are watching this, like Vinny, Mitch, Sandy, Sal, Johnny Rock, who portrayed, I forgot which Malone, but he was one of the guys that was shooting at Benny outside of the hotel. Heck, you know, if you guys want to pass this to Mama Rose, well, one or both. There are two actresses to portray Mama Rose who, you know, you can show this to, maybe even Tyler Perry Studios. Like, you all work on the show and you all have been in contact with Tyler Perry, whereas I'm just a guy who's a major fan with a pretty decently sized YouTube channel. We're about to hit 70,000 subscribers, so, you know, hey, there we go. So maybe this idea could be pitched to Tyler. I really feel like with the Viacom deal, there's so much potential there. I mean, we're living in the day and age of streaming services, and I do believe Tyler Vision is coming out soon. I don't have all the details, but look at like the DC streaming, Disney's fixing to get their thing together. Then of course we have Netflix and so many other different venues. Why doesn't, or, well, you know, I don't want to sound arrogant because, you know, I'm just a guy with, I don't have a studios. I have a microphone and a laptop, and I'm sitting in my apartment. I would hope that Tyler would try to make the most out of these streaming services by giving us a little more bang for our buck, because based off the things I have heard so far, I am actually very interested in investing money into getting a subscription to television, depending on how much the cost is. I mean, I'm not rich, but at the same time, I'll try to go to Coinstar if I can to get things together. But I think it will be very interesting if, aside from having all of his shows and movies and plays on television, give us some Tyler Vision exclusive stuff. Like, you know what? If you're not going to put the haves and the have-nots on DVD, why not have bonus features and whatnot, like deleted scenes, behind the scenes interviews, the making of stuff, that kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for the documentaries and whatnot. And why not have maybe a couple of either original or spin-off series or even movies that are only exclusive to television? And I for one would definitely like to get more in-depth intel about the Malone family, a prequel series to the haves and the have-nots, like how the characters came to be who they are today. Or I don't know if season 7 is the final season, so let's theoretically say that it was. In that final episode, will there be an epilogue? Will every single storyline be tied up? Will we get a glimpse into the future? If not, why not create something like that for Tyler Vision? I think Tyler Perry could definitely make television a very lucrative feature for every Tyler Perry fan, especially for the haves and have-nots. So I think that a Malone something, if you want to either make a spin-off movie, if you want to make a prequel series, if you want to make a series by itself, if you want to take the Malones, I'm talking like the cast members and everything, and shift them into another show, depending if the plot demands it, I think it could work. It is just, look, I'm 27. I have a bunch of ideas. I'm just a guy like everyone else. Well, I mean, you know, except for women. But what I'm saying is, I think that Tyler Perry, the haves and the have-nots, is like the goose that laid the golden egg. Technically, most people would say Madea is that goose, which I definitely see where you're coming from. But I think the haves and the have-nots is what shot Tyler Perry to another level. Okay, let me try to come up with an analogy here. And I'm a Michael Jackson fan, so despite finding Neverland, leaving Neverland, all that other crap, follow me on this one. Remember how the Jackson 5 was how Mike got started? Then he kind of did his solo stuff at Motown, but it really didn't go anywhere. Then they left to go to Epic Records, and then, you know, they had a couple of hits there, but it wasn't until Off the Wall came out, and then, you know, Thriller came out, Mike was really transitioning. But it wasn't until he did the moonwalk at Motown 25 that he truly catapulted into the stratosphere of superstardom. That's kind of how I look at Tyler Perry and the haves and the have-nots. Hear me out on this one. I feel like the Madea, you know, definitely got his name out there, Diary of a Mad Black Woman and whatnot. Let's just imagine his original plays and whatnot that he really didn't get off the ground. Let's kind of think of those as the Jacksons before Motown. Then when Madea came into the picture, that was kind of like, you know, when they hit Motown, you know, they were making the hit songs like I Want You Back, The Love You Save, I'll Be There, ABC. Wait, yeah, I Want You Back, ABC, I'll Be There, The Love You Save. Crap, what was it? Didn't they get like, I think it was like 4 or 5 #1 hits back to back to back. I forgot the other one. I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, Baby Your Own, I'll Be There. See, I want to kick myself because somebody's going to comment and I don't want to mess it up. But anyway, imagine that being like, you know, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. You know, Madea, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That's when they finally, you know, made the transition to superstars, if you will. And then when they moved over to Epic and kind of did their own thing, think of that as Tyler Perry when he did, you know, with, what was it, TBS? He did like, he went to WB first. He had House of Pain was a show on the WB first, but he was too restricted there. They wouldn't allow him to talk about Christianity and God and whatnot. So he decided to leave due to creative differences, and TBS allowed him to do more stuff. Kind of like, you know, the Jacksons weren't able to write, produce, and everything over at Motown. They were just a kiddie group that kind of grew out of their kiddie stardom, if you will. So they were just singing the same old hits. That's why they moved to Epic. So Epic to the Jacksons was TBS to Tyler. But then he went over to OWN, and the haves and the have-nots just took, you know, House of Pain was a great show for what it was, but, you know, Madea and Brown and everybody were still a part of that, same with like Meet the Browns and whatnot. But the haves and the have-nots made people look at Tyler Perry in an entirely different way, because the haves and the have-nots was literally a new entity in itself, something that most people never expected Tyler Perry to do. This was Tyler Perry after he had a slew of films in the theaters and whatnot that were, oh, they're predictable, and it's just like he's just making black men look bad being in the dress and parading around, yada yada yada. But the haves and the have-nots made people shut up because it was something completely new. Same thing when the Jacksons were epic. You know, you had Off the Wall, but then when he had Thriller, but when he did the Moonwalk, that just took the star that was Michael and just shot him to the stratosphere. I think the haves and have-nots to Tyler Perry is what the Moonwalk live on television did for Michael. I know that was a wordy analogy, but I really wanted to make you understand, you know, how I kind of picture this in my head. And trust me, my head is a very dangerous place because I had to deal with these theories all day, every day. But I really do feel like Tyler Perry could truly take what he has with the haves and have-nots and just expand on it in so many ways. But I get it. He's a very creative person. He has a extremely busy schedule coming up with the Viacom deal, and he has so many different uncharted avenues he can go down with his deal on all these other channels he's working on. But I do feel like you really shouldn't just leave the haves and have-nots on the shelf when there's so many things you could do with it, not only giving the cast members, you know, future work and maybe even expanding more doors for them in other projects, because based on Tyler Perry's track record, it doesn't seem uncommon for him to, and I don't want to use this word in a bad way, but recycle cast members from various shows who are in movies and whatnot, because they work well together. So why not just put them in another, you know, feature or whatnot? So I think that and I know that people say I go off tangent and off subject, but I think, you know, I said all there is to really say about Mitch being shot, because it's all about Mama Rose, and I kind of expanded upon that in regards to the Malone family itself. I think, you know, of course, the Cryers will be screwed, if not the entire state of Georgia. But at the same time, you know, I wonder what Benny would react, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you still have your tummy hurts from a stab wound, so you ought to just sit this one out. Candace might be mad, but I think the real wrath is going to come from the Malones themselves. But with that being said, I'm not going to apologize for rambling off on the mouth, because I had a lot in my brain that I need to get out. So to the Malone members who are watching this video, I hope you liked it. I hope you share this around social media, maybe hit up Tyler. And, you know, like I said, I might just be a guy sitting behind a microphone with no real experience in this kind of stuff, but hey, I got a lot of ideas. So with that being said, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as more news pours out in regards to what Tyler Perry has in store for 2019 and beyond, I will let you know. Be sure to hit me up. Social media links are in the description below. And remember, in a couple of days, I have over 100 items on eBay that will be ending auction. I'm talking action figures, video games, trading cards. Links in the description below. Free shipping on everything. I never do shipping charges. So just trying to make that side hustle. So, you know, that's all I can do. But subscribe so we can hit 100,000 subscribers. And I will talk to you all soon. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps. $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.